Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We have another dark moon, and I'm just going ahead that I share the screen with you. And for the first glimpse, you can see that we have the first four planets lining up here, personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus in Scorpio. Now, Sun and Moon just entered, just right now at this dark moon. Mercury and Venus are here already on 8 degrees. And this indicates that we're going to have a month of a very, very profound transformation, that a lot of people are going into some kind of metamorphosis to really shift their perception. We have Leo on the rising sign and Aries up here. Aries, Libra, the Beauty and the Beast axis here with Aries on top. So it will be quite powerful information that people start to digest, because you have seen already how the disclosure is starting, that a lot of information is coming out. And some of the, we can say, cabal side, it becomes so ridiculous that in my opinion, a person with at least a little bit of intelligence should see that something must be wrong there. Because if they start to kind of blame those who did not have the injection for the others, and that they are the danger to those who had it, who are supposed to be protected and all that kind of stuff, that it really stops for me. And in addition, we have, and I want to put that URL below, a very, very powerful information that comes through Dr. Fulmich. He has now renamed ICIC, ICIC, International Crime Investigation Committee, which I think it's very, very a good metaphor. And he has an interview that talks about shifting personalities within those who had the information, and that the DNA that is changing, going through the brain-blood barrier, everything is even changing the personality. I really recommend you to watch that video. That will give also a lot of information, and maybe also explanation of what is going on now, because you also probably have seen that the split between those with and those without has become bigger and bigger and bigger. And many who are waking up are seeking now help, and seeking other people to help them to find ways how they can detox their bodies. And I'm sure there are ways. I'm not the medical doctor, and I have some alternative ways how to do it. But I'm sure that there are many different ways that we can do a lot for them to kind of, I don't know if it's possible to completely restore health. I have no idea. And I think we should have then some upstairs team help for this. When you look at the topic here, we can also see that the chart is kind of only half of it is more or less empty, and half has all the planets on the other side, and we have beautiful trines. So with that going into this transition period of people, like with the sun, especially their consciousness, so meaning they start to see, they start to feel that something has shifted. We can see here also with the connections that we have only one connection here to this dark moon constellation that is going to retrograde Jupiter. Now, that this is a retrograde planet is very important for us to notice, because now it's not expanding outside, really not. It's expanding inside. And as I said before in the last reading, something has shifted massively. The power of those negative entities is broken. It's completely broken. And it's kind of, it's like a tree in wintertime and all the leaves come down. This is happening right now. And during this phase, things are not clear. Like, you know, the leaves are still there, but not gone all, but not all anymore. It becomes like when you look at the tree, imagine that tree, that you don't see the whole tree yet. They are still leaves, but the leaves have already turned. That means they're not really alive anymore. And this is like the whole tree, the construct of this Cabal organization is looking like this. And as you know, this tree is already dying itself. It's not just a winter and the leaves are falling. The tree itself is dead. And what we see now in the media is absolutely not giving us any information in the moment. It's completely shifting. So please don't trust all this, what's coming from there. Listen to your own feeling. Listen to what you can see. You know, I see myself, and go from there. Because in this situation, when your sun and moon is also connected with the whole world, what is going on, that is moving into that Scorpion topic of transformation. And Scorpion has nothing to do with death. Remember, death is the physical death, is Capricorn Saturn. And this is the end of something. But Scorpion is a transition, and we have the butterfly topic in here too. And you know, for example, the menopause of a woman is also connected with Scorpion. And for the younger women, maybe I tell that because I have gone through that transition of the menopause already. And I tell you, I was very, very feeling powerful afterwards. And it's not that I had a feeling I lost something, even not in a sexual way, absolutely not. Because this is just one phase in life that we move beyond. We have a phase that we are the Virgo, then we are the mother, and then we become, in a way, actually, even the lover can be much more powerful in this phase. So what I see here for humanity, and sorry, I use the sample of a woman, but I'm a woman, so it's easier for me. So when we go through this transformation, this is giving up something, but generally what we gain afterwards is even more, because there is more expertise, there is more experience, there is more maturity. And this is what will happen after this, when we go through that process of understanding what happened. Something like that can never ever happen to us again. So it is very important that we dive into this letting go, into this dark night of letting go. And you know that always the night is the darkest just before the sunrise. I have also checked out the Schumann resonance, and I will post it definitely in the blog. We had very sharp energy spikes coming in, and you know, going all the way down to 40 hertz. So it's really a very powerful energy boost. You know, a lot of people talk about these solar flares, and that this big event is coming, that we are going through this transformation through solar flares, solar expanded solar energy. And you can see that they are kind of boosting. This is my booster, we can say. These are my booster shots, these solar spikes. And then after, very often after a lot of this energy come in, there is nearly nothing afterwards. So you will feel tired and you will feel exhausted. And this is the reason why we have these feelings sometimes that, oh my God, I cannot stand up anymore, or do I really have to get up in the morning? Or sometimes even, can I even go through this morning before having a nap? Or a break at noon. And this is why it's like this very strong energy is coming in, and then there is nothing. And with this dive into that Scorpion topic, there is, for a moment, there is nothing. But it's actually not very long, because you might also know that the 13th sign is hidden inside here. And this is the first part, is diving down. And then the second part is integrating. So Mercury and Venus are coming already very close to the point where we go into an integration phase. So the moment that we look at what is happening, do not deny anything. Let me give you one other sample, which is that just came up a couple days ago. A lot of people, they protest always about GMO food. They don't want to eat GMO food. And I don't want that either. But they let themselves become a GMO item themselves with this injection. Now, see, you see how ridiculous the whole thing is. And I know many people who had the injection and they're very against GMO. So when I mention that, they get generally very angry at me, but that's okay. But at least they look at it afterwards because that makes them think. So once we move into this Scorpion topic, it is like we become very, very honest. It is in a way similar like dying when we see our whole life playing in front of us again, and up there is nobody judging us. This is just us, you know, kind of mirroring what happened. This is not the same here, what we are going through here, but there are certain topics in our life that will come up that will help us to go into a stage of being completely honest and just to ourselves first, you know, that we learn to look at what is coming up. And how this will come up is very simple. It will happen in daily life. Topics will come up. Maybe somebody asks you a question, or you suddenly meet somebody you haven't seen for a very long time, even a person you might not like, or even a situation that was very difficult for you before that suddenly comes up again. And then you know that now it's a time to look at it. So things will be presented to you. You don't have to go and seek for anything. It's always like that. You know, the saying also, once a disciple is ready, the master is here. That's also once you're willing and ready to look at the truth, then all the lies they are coming towards you, or all the deception or everything what it is coming to you to look at it again, to look at it and dismiss it afterwards. And this will also, of course, when we have the moon here too, it will also be sometimes very emotional. You might have some confrontation with people that are very emotional. Then listen to your feelings, go into it. If you have to cry, then go ahead. Don't put it away, because you know that tears is a detox. Did you know that tears that you shed have same energy, like for example a cancer cell? So if you keep the tears inside and you are always too strong and oh no, I'm not going to give in into that and that, then it's easier that cancer can manifest in your body. But if you let it go, and I don't mean like a drama queen, whatever, but you can also weep in the silence of the night that nobody can see you, but to get that grief and get that anger and whatever it is within you, within the whole world, within all of us in the moment, get it out. It's important that this energy is leaving now us. Those who have read message from Matthew, he explains why those people who are those really, really, really dark people have to leave the planet. They cannot just be in prison and whatever for a couple of years and then let out again, because they will not change. And our world needs to be rid of this negative energy so we can move on into a higher frequency. Certain energy, you know, it's actually very simple. Look at the child. When you're a child and the little child that is still suckling, that is totally normal for that age, right? But when the child is 5 years old, it doesn't want to suckle anymore. And maybe it has a 3-wheel bike, but when it's maybe 10 years old, it doesn't want to sit on a little baby 3-wheel bike anymore. It wants a real bike. And this is exactly the same. The moment we move on consciousness in a higher energy, what is below that, what is a negative and what is a lower energy, will automatically fall away. And this is indicated by these trines. And I said here the trine to retrograde Jupiter is that expansion in the inside that helps you to let go things that are from an energy does not suit you anymore. And this will not be a big effort. Maybe it hurts a little bit. You know, I remember I had a very beautiful dress when I was a child. And I was, when my mother had to give it away to somebody else because I just grew too fast, you know. And, unfortunately, the dress didn't grow with me. And I saw that other kid one day wearing it. I was very angry. This is my dress. This is my dress. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But anyway, afterwards I could laugh about it because I had new dresses. So, but this is more or less the same within us. The moment we have to let go something, it is always momentarily pain because, and this is because of the habits, you know, a lot of that is habit because people look for convenience. Every time we move beyond the habit, there is no convenience because we need to open our eyes and adapt to something new. So we have to move beyond our boundaries that we had before. But once we are there, it's okay, you know, it's just that one step that we have to make. And topics like this will come up. You will see in any field of your life, in a material field, in a professional field, in a partnership field, it will be everything will ask for a review. Is this still the right thing in my life? Is that still what I need? Is that still what I want? And then we can expand first in the inside to come first to that inside. No, that's not what I want anymore. Or yes, this is what I want to keep. And then the next step you will see when we talk about the next horoscope, it will change. We see also that this is that very close by square that is actually with Neptune to retrograde Mars, is like that in a moment the energies for us to move forward don't work. We don't have energy to manifest in the moment with retrograde Mars in Taurus. This is not the moment. This is the moment to do it emotionally, mentally, to see options, to see possibilities, and to keep that vision up. It will materialize, but not right now. There is still here, we have this slight karmic issue here with Neptune, with Mercury, Venus to Pluto. This is also connected with this transformation, as Pluto is the ruler of Scorpion. So this will be that a lot, maybe even karmic issues are coming up, fears, phobias, that you don't really know where they come from. Then what you have to do is acknowledge that this actually has nothing to do with my life now. For example, when you have a fear of height or a fear of or claustrophobia or something like that, this is very often coming from previous lifetimes. And it is time that, okay, I never fell from a tower, or I never be suffocated in a closed room or something. So you can also in this moment say, I connect to my spirit self, my spirit within, myself within, God within, and I now release the fear of, because it has nothing to do with me anymore and has nothing to do with my life. And just say that, or you can also write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. That is also a very good thing, because if we have to say it loud, that our ego can hear it, that our body, our whole physical ego being here can hear it. And if we burn it, and if we read it out loud before we burn it, that kind of little ceremony has a lot of effect. We did that a lot in workshops, and the impact is actually stronger when you do it like that, instead of just making it silent. What is actually also very significant is here that we have from Venus, Mercury, we have a quincunx going to Uranus and Node here, these two planets together. Remember, this is what I said when we look from here, it's the 150-degree angle. And this means that this is a so-called divorce, a last chance aspect. So Uranus retrograde here is asking us here to go beyond all the boundaries that we have had before. I can also imagine that this is a kind of preparation for us to really be in deeper connection with the divine within ourselves, to strengthen us, to give us more intuition, more inspiration, and everything what is happening now, including especially because Uranus is in Aries, which includes the new beginning. So we have, in the end, we have here the end of something that is in the transformation. Here we go into the 13th sign, like when, you know, when the caterpillar goes in the butterfly. It's kind of literally the caterpillar first dies, and then in the cocoon he transforms into the butterfly, and the butterfly is rising when we can say metaphorically on 1 degree of Sagittarius, starting to fly beyond. So this is the period that things will happen for us. We don't have to do it ourselves. The first part is like within that, the kind of dying period is the confrontation with what has to die within us. The second part is it's more or less what is happening. It's like when we eat food, we decide to eat food, and then afterwards the digestive act, we don't have to consciously do something with it. So this is the same like digestion before we get up after meal and are strengthened to go on with our day. This is maybe a sample that could be easily understood. So this is what is happening now. And from the moon and the sun, we have another trine that goes to Chiron retrograde in Pisces. Now, remember, Chiron is the healer. And just to repeat here very shortly the myth, this is like Prometheus stole the fire from the gods, and Zeus chained him at the Caucasus mountain to suffer forever because he tricked him to steal the fire. That's a different story. So Chiron was the centaur, the healer, and he was mortally wounded, and he was in horrible pain, but he could not die because he was immortal. So for Prometheus, there was Zeus said, if somebody goes into the underworld for you, you can be redeemed and be freed. So that's what Chiron did, the healer. He went into the underworld to free Prometheus. And in a way, Prometheus slayed on the cross, right, on the Caucasus mountain. We have a similar story like in many different religions. And we can see then that somebody sacrifices himself for Prometheus, and Prometheus is standing for humanity. So spirit is the spirit. We stole the fire, the spirit from the gods that does differentiate us from the animals, right? So we need the spirit, and Prometheus has stolen that spirit and tricked Zeus. And this is a kind of a story that we all know, and we could also name this planetoid that is in generally Western astrology not used anymore. It was declared that sometimes that we cannot use it, but again, it's a very, very important planetoid that gives us a lot of information about what's going on. So what is happening is that redemption process within ourselves. And this is, again, the easiest way is to say from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Look at the difference. There's a complete different being. It's like the seed and the plant. They're two different things. You know, you have that seed, that little thing that you put in the soil, and afterwards you have a beautiful flower. And this is like what is happening to us now. This is what's happening to the world. And with Aries and Uranus up there, it shows that now the dying process is happening so that the shoot can come up, so that the plant can be born, that the higher self within us can take over our body so we can fly, meaning we can manifest better. We are more God-like again. And you remember that I have to cite the Bible there. Jesus said at one point, what I can do, you can do too, and even more. And he was referring to the time now, because at that time he was also blocked because of the paradigm. Now, see, when you look at situation from 100, 500,000, 2,000 years ago, the energy level of the earth has been very low. It has been a very, very low consciousness, and fear was very, very strong. And to reach enlightenment, you needed to go away from the mundane world, go on a mountain, be a cave hermit, or go to a temple and meditate for whatever, 10, 20, 30 years. Or like Buddha did, like Jesus did, they sit 40 days. And we don't have to do that anymore because the consciousness level is rising higher. We don't have to prepare ourselves years for this. We have been prepared lifetimes before to come to this energy now. And this is the moment when we go into that transformation and we accept that. Even if we have feelings of being depressed, feelings of being sad, if we allow it, that we go through that process of being in a way dismantled, to be rebuilt anew, that things can happen within us. It will be a very, very powerful energy that's coming out of it. And you can see here also, when you look at the colors, there's no yellow. That means there is no air. That means also that it is a certain kind of heavy. We have generally here at the top, we have water and earth, but we can see the earth sign here is Saturn, is in Capricorn. This is the physical death. And here we have a retrograde Mars in Taurus. That means Taurus we cannot see. Taurus is the sign where the seed goes into the soil. Virgo is then the sign of harvest, and Capricorn is the sign when the tree dies or the crop dies. Is like October, November time, because we can compare to the seasons. So we can see that here is really a shift, and water is the element of transformation, of emotional ups and downs. And this is what many people, to many people, happen right now when you look outside in the world. But we can also see, because of those retrograde planets, nothing is stable. Jupiter here is just in the moment standing still. So it's just like the retrograde period is finished, and then Jupiter stands still about 1 day before it moves forward again. Here is like retrograde. It's not moving forward yet. But when it's standing still, this is that one moment of stillness that we have to go inside, to focus inside. And this is the moment where the sprout penetrates the seed. So you see the potential of the time is very powerful. Libra is we balance with that. Aries is we go to that new beginning of more inspiration, more divine connection, to afterwards be able to manifest and see the new world more consciously. And what is very important to remember with Leo, the sun on the planet represents the ego, in a way, the consciousness of the ego. And that means that the transformation of the ego, of the personality, is the topic here for the new beginning, to balance, to have that new beginning. That is only possible if we let go now that old, to get into that metamorphosis, to be the butterfly. And we will have the next full moon in this period of when things are happening. So stay tuned. It will be very interesting reading also next time. And the world is shifting. You know, you don't see really what is happening in the background, underground, what you see on the surface. And I'm not talking just about mainstream, I talk also about many other awakening channels and things. They cannot see what happened either. Because if you just look again, I can stop sharing now. When you have a seed, and that seed is supposed to sprout, you cannot get out the seed every day, and look, does it sprout? Because then it dies. And that's exactly what has happened. So hold tight, try to get the break if you have a chance to. Maybe on the coming weekend, take some time out. Use it to listen to nice music or go hiking. If you have not too cold weather, go somewhere in the forest or somewhere in the mountains, walk barefoot, touch the ground, so that Mother Earth can help you within this transformation that is happening in the next couple of weeks. It's very powerful, and you will see the Earth is really changing now, and no way that the negative forces can take over. I hope you're happy with the reading. If you are, please give me a thumbs up and share with your friends. I will see you next week again. Oh no, in 2 weeks. Maybe I do a reading in between. Let's see how it goes. Then we can look how everything is moving forward. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye for now.